This is the 2026 Honda CR-V LX. It's inexpensive, practical, and fun. And we're going to give you all the details in today's Vehicle Visionary video. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're back at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more about this CR-V, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color is solar silver and it has a black interior. You will find your LED headlights, low and high beams, and your LED daytime running lights right here. That's going to be followed by the chrome brow that works its way all the way across the front end. One thing I do like here is that you don't have a bunch of gloss black finish. There's more of a matte finish everywhere with the upper grille, the lower grille, and the front spoiler. Now, I'm making this video on January 22nd of 2026. We're supposed to get a lot of snow throughout the South over the next few days. This is something you might want if you're in the market for a new vehicle, and after that snow you say, man, I'm tired of getting stuck. It's all-wheel drive. Now you can go front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive across all trim levels of the CR-V. In this case, we're gonna have our 17-inch wheels right here. I think that works really well with the solar silver exterior color. Now, as far as your mirrors go, your side view mirrors, you're going to have the solar silver mirror caps. You will have your turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be manually folding. They're not going to be heated. They will be power adjustable, and you won't find blind spot monitoring here, just so you know what's here and what's not. Now, let's talk about the remote. You've got lock, unlock, and you've got your panic button right there. Now, in the event that you need to get in, let me show you something here. Here's the key. You saw how I just pulled that out of the key fob, the remote right there. What you're actually going to do is you can come right down here. We'll show you where that lock mechanism is. You just stick the key in right there and you're good to go. So if you're curious about that, yep, that's the situation where this model is concerned. Your gas tank size will come in at 14 gallons. You have capless fuel fill. And with all-wheel drive, you're looking at about 378 miles of driving distance in the city, 434 miles out on the highway, and 406 miles combined. Something to keep in mind with that is that it's going to be dependent on a lot of different variables. Now we're going to work our way back here to the rear. We're going to have LED taillights to finish things up. You will find your rear roof spoiler and the rear window wiper. There's your all-wheel drive logo. Now you will find a manual tailgate to open right here. You can tow up to 1,500 pounds. Something that's here that you won't find on the CR-V hybrid is the spare tire. You have all your tools right there to change the tire, and we're looking at 39.3 to 76.5 cubic feet, depending on how you set things up as far as your cargo space goes. There's your 12-volt power outlet. We're going to have cargo area lighting on each side. And let me put down one side of these seats right here just so you can see how this looks. You can obviously fold both of these down and increase your cargo space. One more little trick that's nice here. Let me come back here and I'll show you real quick here. We'll get the mats out of the way right there and the license plate bracket. And that is that if you want to increase your cargo space a little bit more, you can do that right there. You can change the position of the floor. Okay, if you want to go with the non-hybrid version, which is what we have here, here is what's under the hood. It's a 1.5 liter direct injection turbocharged 4-cylinder. It makes 190 horsepower, 179 pounds-feet of torque. It will be mated to a CVT or a continuously variable transmission. And how about your MPGs? You may not be able to see these as well with the glare, so I'm going to give them to you. We're looking at 27 city, 31 highway, 29 combined, and 3.4 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Let's talk about what your second row passengers will find. Now, there's not a lot to talk about back here. There is a reasonable amount of space. That's good. You can also recline the seat backs. As you can see right here, I've got this side reclined all the way back. You use the lever right here that is also for lowering the seats all the way down, the seat backs all the way down to make them flat for maximizing cargo space. And for when the driver goes crazy with 190 horsepower, you have the oh crap handles here so you can hold on. We'll have air conditioning vents back here, but that's about it. No USB ports and no rear seat pockets. Now you do have the armrest here. We'll look at the door bin over there, or the door panel that includes the door bin, but you have a nice size armrest and that door bin down there that is going to allow for whatever you want to store in there. It's also a bottle holder. How about your sticker price? $33,870. I know that's still fairly high, but considering the fact that the average new car price right now is $50,000 plus, it's not quite as bad. So that's why I say this is inexpensive. Let's see what else you get for the price. We're going to start with our upper console right here. Not a whole lot to talk about. You'll have the lights right here if you want to use those on each side, and we'll have the sunglass holder. And we'll make our way over here to the glove box, show you what we have there. A little bit of space in there, so if you need to store some things in there, maybe some gloves. Now, I don't know if anybody ever does that. We're going to work over to the passenger side door panel over there and show that you have a little more space with the armrest and the door bin compared to what we had on the rear doors. And now I'll grab the camera and we'll work our way over here to the driver's side door. Now, here are the controls for your side view mirrors. Lock and unlock. You can lock the windows. You're going to have one touch down and one touch up for the driver's door only. Driver's door window. The rest, you're going to have to hold that down. You can adjust the steering wheel tilt and telescopically right there. Cruise control is right here, which, by the way, you do have Honda sensing. Adaptive cruise control is part of that. Collision mitigation, braking, road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, traffic jam assist, all of that's going to be there. And we'll have our controls right here for the radio, voice commands, and we can work our way through with the scroll wheel right here. If I hit home, we can go to our menu. We can go in and make changes. We can see different bits of information. Just depends on what it is you want. Pretty simple to figure all of that out. And we'll find our controls for the headlights right there. Headlights and taillights, you can just leave that on auto, but you will have to manually use your turn signal indicators, turn those blinkers on. I promise you won't need oxygen or have to go to the hospital for rehab after using those. It's pretty easy. Front and rear window wipers controlled right there, and a nice modern look with the driver's display, as you can see. Now we'll work our way over here to the now standard across all trim levels 9-inch touchscreen that is actually somewhat minimalistic compared to what we've seen in the past. Now, I will say I did make one little mistake there. You will also find the 9-inch touchscreen that we've seen the last few years on the CR-V if you go with the Hybrid Sport Touring that has all of the different icons and a couple of different pages worth. But other than that, that's the only way you're going to see those details. You will find your backup camera right here, the multi-view rear view camera with 3 different views, as you can see right there. And we'll go back into park, and you can see what all we have here with our Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can go into general settings. It is quite minimalistic, but I think for some people that might work really well. If you need to connect your phone, you can just select right there and go in and get that process started, connect new device, and just follow the prompts on the screen. Now, this model will have single zone climate control, as we can see right down here. Adjust the temperature and your fan speed. Everything is here. You can see what you need to do there. Pretty easy to figure out. And we're going to have a couple of wireless charging pads here and a couple of USB ports. I wish we had a couple of wireless charging pads. Okay, you can laugh at me on that one. A couple of USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet and 1 wireless charging pad. I'm leaving that blooper in there. And then you have your drive mode selector right here. Let me show you what those drive modes are. Grab the camera real fast and we'll work our way up here to the driver's display and we'll go through those driving modes. Now, you'll see that you have normal, Econ, and you're going to have snow. Now, you'll notice that sport mode is not there. That doesn't mean you don't have sport mode. All it is you come right down here to the shifter. You have drive, you have S, that's going to be sport. So you just bring the shifter all the way back there. In fact, I'll just do that for you real quick here. Let's see if we can do that. And that's sport mode. And then last but not least, that's L, that's low. For low traction situations, that keeps the vehicle in low gear, and you still have all of the power and torque from the engine available. And you'll have your buttons here for things such as turning on and off the auto stop start feature, brake hold mode, your power parking brake. We'll also find our cup holders right here. The center console lid, depending on how big somebody's forearms are, they might be able to have 2 arms on there or maybe just 1. I don't know, it just depends. And then we work our way to the interior of the center console. Actually a reasonable amount of space for a smaller SUV like this. All right, here we go on the test drive. You will find that the CR-V has a nice, comfortable ride quality, and while you have cloth interior, I've actually had people tell me that's outdated, but that's what you have here. It's still comfortable. The seats themselves are manually adjustable for the driver and the passenger, but you have to consider the trim level that we're talking about here in this particular video. So I think that works just fine. The driver's seat can be raised and lowered via the lever on the side, so you do have a little bit of adjustability built in besides moving the seat back and forth and adjusting the position of the seat back. And with the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel, that means that basically anybody of any height, for the most part, should be able to set everything up to where they're nice and comfortable and able to see just fine. No big deal where that is concerned. And you do have those advantages that come with all-wheel drive for the low traction situations. That's going to be very helpful for those of you that need such a thing on a regular basis. Thankfully, we don't get very much snow or ice here, so I don't have to worry about that kind of thing too often. But the one thing I know a lot of people may ask about is going to be how well does the CR-V get down the road? Well, it's actually not too bad. I'd say a little surprising. For 190 horsepower, it gets up and goes just fine, just easing into the gas pedal as I did just then. A little bit over quarter throttle, so not too bad. It gets up to speed when I need it to. The technology here is very easy to learn and use, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Not an overload as far as the center screen goes, but even if you go, let's say you decide, you know what, I don't want LX. I want to go with the Hybrid Sport Touring, the top trim level. That screen that I mentioned earlier in the video that has the different icons on it, more than what we have here. A little bit more to it, but still very simplistic to learn. Plenty of room, very enjoyable to ride in the front and the back seats. So a very well-rounded vehicle at what I would say is a reasonable price for this day and age. And there it is, the 2026 Honda CR-V LX. It is inexpensive, practical, and fun. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'd like to say a special thanks to our friends at Holmes Honda for loaning us this CR-V for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful. We appreciate that. Make sure to share this video on your timelines on social media and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future videos. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.